So it does the computation I want. Now let's think about what happens inside of the environments. How does the scoping of the variables? So if I were to evaluate that definition, which I did by loading it into my Python environment, what it does is it creates a binding for the name iterative power to a procedure object. And inside there I have the list of formal parameters, and I have the body. I also have an environment pointer that points back to the environment in which I did the definition, which we know we're going to use. If I now call iterative power with 2 and 5, what do we say happens? We get, first of all, the value of this expression, iterative power, it points to that. It's a procedure object. I get the values of each of these expressions with respect to this environment. Numbers are always numbers, so it's just 2 and 5. And then I create a new environment, which I'm calling E2. This new environment here, it has as a parent the environment that the procedure object has as a parent. And then inside of that environment, I bind these formal parameters to the values of the expressions passed in. And then relative to this environment, I now evaluate the body of the expression. And that's really cool. Because now I basically reduced the computation to a simpler computation. I'm now evaluating this expression, or sequence of expressions, relative to this environment. And that environment contains the bindings I want. So in fact, if I evaluate that body, what does it do? Well, the first expression it evaluates says bind result to 1. And notice where that happens. It happens down here in this environment. Not up in the global environment where I want to have some value that I might want to think about. It's happening inside of this environment created by the procedure call. Having done that definition, I run through the for loop, and that says look up the value of x, which is right there. Look up the value of result, which is right there. Multiply them together and change the binding for result. And then do it again and again, and you get the idea. All of this computation takes place in this environment, E2. And what that says then is that the loop rebinds that local variable until we get to the exit, until when we're done and we hit that return expression. And return says look up the value of result in this environment, because that's where I'm doing the computation for the procedure. There it is. That's what's actually returned. Cool. That's exactly what